Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Today is the forecast for the Greater Collective for Thursday the 17th of September. This is not solely set for that date. If you're watching this on a date that's other than September 17th, that's okay. It might be time for you to see this message. I trust that sort of spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has a way of getting us to the message when we need to see it. So you don't necessarily need to turn this off if you're seeing it on a date that's different than what it was originally intended for. What was I going to say? For those of you that it doesn't make sense, or if you're watching the video and you're kind of like it's not resonating, that's okay. That doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just might mean that you're working on something different than what the greater collective might be at this time, and that's fully acceptable. This is a message for the highest good of the greater collective, therefore it's going to try and reach as many people as it can in the moment when it should, so to speak. Anything you see here, any decisions you make after watching this video are also your responsibility. Take what you need and leave the rest. And let's get into what's going on for us. For my regular viewers that watch regularly, we're building upon the energy of not only Sunday's reading, but all the cards that have happened before during this week. And I'm trying to make sense of all of this. So let's see what is going on. Oh, hey, Hermit. Okay, Virgo energy. So, the Hermit is Major Arcana, which usually is fairly significant. It always has like a sort of a packs a bigger punch, has a little bit more of a lesson. The Hermit is about sort of going inward, taking that time and that space to kind of commune with oneself, finding those internal answers, finding that light within. It's always sort of signified by him carrying this torch into a dark area or cave. We've got this Hermit walking sort of into the forest, kind of also heading in the direction of what I consider to be the past. We might be reflecting upon things that we've been dealing with up until this point and trying to reconfigure them or figure out how we relate to them. There is a sort of a mysticism, an awareness, a knowledge that's acquired with the Hermit. There's a growth that takes place with the Hermit. There's sort of an, what's the word? Like a boost in awareness, right? By taking the time, by getting meditative, by going into the depths of our subconscious or how we truly feel, and really kind of owning that, being taught by it, assimilating it, and taking it to sort of the next level. So to me, the Hermit is also associated with the sign of Virgo, which we are in Virgo season, so that's beautiful and in alignment with everything that's going on. Yesterday's card was that Eight of Cups, which also showed up on Sunday, right? And so there has been this kind of like theme of sort of like introspection and release is kind of like the theme that I'm getting from this week. And so as we're moving through this week and we're like looking at sort of our life, the situations, the people around us, how they treat us, how we interact with them, we might be finding that we're outgrowing them, that they need to change, that they're no longer serving us, that, you know, we may need to move away from them or retreat from them. That's certainly this Hermit energy too, giving ourselves that sort of respite, that moment to listen to our own internal voice versus the voices of others. But ultimately, when we do that, we kind of put ourselves into a position of education, greater knowledge, better awareness in a way so that we can make clearer decisions. Now, with the Hermit, he's always sort of on this dark journey or in this cave. And so when I look at this, and we've been seeing this sort of theme in the cards leading up to this point, right? Where we have that moon above us, like in the Eight of Cups that we saw twice this week. We also had that void of course moon a couple of days ago, which was also very sort of dark in its display, or you know how the card was configured. It also kind of gave me this idea of, okay, my viewers maybe don't know where they're going. But it's okay, because if we listen to that internal voice, and that's certainly the essence of this Hermit card, if we listen to that internal voice and we tap into it, connect to it, trust it more, it will guide us. The light within, similar to like this torch that we have here, guys, is going to be what's going to guide us to this place of stability, knowledge, wisdom, strength in and of itself. The Hermit isn't necessarily like outwardly trying to prove a point. It's more about internal work and about internal awareness and the sort of the, I want to say the strength that provides, but strength doesn't feel like the right word to me. It's like the skill, maybe? There's always, and also the Hermit too, to me, always kind of comes off like an old card. Like there's wisdom. Like wisdom is a really good word with the Hermit, I feel like. It's like with age, with experience, we gain that wisdom. And this is more of an internal kind of wisdom that comes with this more solitary path, or this more singular reflection that we might be doing during this time. Trust this energy, trust yourself, and go deep is kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this card. So let's look at the Moonology card. Oh, hello. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. I love how red and fiery this moon is. Just it's more like, it's almost like a piece of fruit to me. Sagittarius is the sign that is a fire sign, but it's also like very much associated with sort of expansion, the kind of the evolution of the greater good. When I like this, look at the bigger picture, we've got this idea of looking at the greater whole, everybody that's involved, how do we further this along? But I think to enable ourselves to do that, to really harness this full moon energy in Sagittarius, which is this sort of expansive kind of taking care of the greater whole, we have to sort of go inward and take care of ourselves and connect to ourselves and our own true wisdom first. That's when we can kind of raise that bow of the archer and start to pinpoint what it is that we need, what it is that is, we want to glean out of, say, maybe this bigger picture. To me, the Sagittarian energy is mutable, right? So it's flexible. It's open. And also this full moon energy is always sort of powerful and open and overflowing, abundant, ready to kind of burst in a way. And so taking this introspection and grounded energy that we have with the Hermit, and then this fiery, expansive energy which is more active, right? One is sort of introspective and grounded and self-focused. The other is sort of looking at the bigger picture, about action and where we want to move forward. So we kind of have maybe two trajectories going on. One is more internal, and as we listen to that internal, we're probably going to be better suited or better able to also figure out where and how we move through this bigger picture of whatever it is that we desire, that we want. I feel really good with this full moon in Sagittarius. It feels like almost anything is sort of possible. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting from this moon. It's the redness to it. It's the activity. It's the sort of desire that I feel with this moon. It feels very positive to me. The Hermit feels a little bit kind of serious, but that's okay. We might need to get serious before we can get to where we want to be. I hope that makes sense. Let's look at the grounding stone. Remember, Sunday's grounding stone was this idea of promise. And when I look at this Hermit, when I look at this full moon in Sagittarius, to me that speaks to this idea of being full of promise or opportunity. How do we expand? How do we get sort of bigger? Also, Sagittarius is associated, the sign of Sagittarius is associated with this planet of Jupiter, which just went direct on the 12th. And so to me, that's also a big kind of wonderful expansion towards benefit, overall good luck, well-being, that sort of thing. So gearing that, like harnessing that energy too, could be at hand. So the grounding stone, or what we want to ground in during this time, is the idea or thought of success, what that success means to us, where we find that success within us, right? And that's also about taking this sort of maybe inventory process that this hermit is in, this connecting at a deeper, more subconscious level. We can find that promise that we see on Sunday's stone, right? Throughout this week, it's all about kind of where do we want to create more in our lives? Where do we want, not only in our own lives, but also to benefit the greater whole. When we're doing right by ourselves, we're doing right by others, right? And when we're sometimes even, when we're putting ourselves first and really truly taking care of ourselves, even through hard times, we're actually doing a service not only for ourselves, but for the greater good of the whole, right? Of of everyone. It's my feeling. And that's sort of this look at the bigger picture energy. So when we go inward, if any of us are sort of struggling, suffering, making changes that might feel a little bit uncomfortable, I do think that the Hermit is a step above that Eight of Cups. Certainly, there's an awareness, a knowledge, a wisdom that's being gained, an empowered state, because we are talking major arcana energy. This is not a court card or any of the, what do they call them? The trump cards, or not trump cards, pips, I think they're called. It's not like an 8, 9, or 10. This is the Hermit, right? He's here. So we are hopefully reaching an understanding and awareness that is going to be to our benefit. And then we can take that, determine what that's like, where those successes we want them to be, or where we feel they should be, and start to create them. And also they start to benefit the greater whole, or the bigger picture on those around us. So let me get to the Hermit, and I'll just read his card really quick. Okay, Hermit is card number 13? I can't remember. Oh, 9. Okay. Well, this is kind of... Okay, so it says, the traditional tarot imagery depicts an old man walking toward the left of the card with a staff in hand. He is dressed in long robes and is generally hooded. Sometimes he holds a lantern that lights his way and sheds enough light to see the surrounding wild, uninhabited landscape and the serpent of wisdom at his feet. In earlier decks, he holds an hourglass rather than a lantern, and he is a figure thought to have evolved from Father Time or Saturn. Interesting. All right, Saturn is also sort of a kind of planet of hard lessons. I don't feel like there's necessarily hard lessons, but we might have to be looking at stuff that, challenges us in some way. But I feel like the Hermit will be successful. And then let's look at full moon in Sagittarius. That is, look at the bigger picture. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma, fretting over minutiae that can be counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action? This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you see? What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon. Take time out for a mini break or adventure. Additional meanings for this card. This situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The teaching. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big, wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail through into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture. I think that this is an opportunity to sort of find where we want to be and how we want it to feel, what we want it to look like, to define the terms of what success is for us and for those around us. Not that we're determining success for those around us, but when we're successful, I think that we emanate that out and help others to sort of find their own, successes, or we're able to sort of appreciate others in a way that enables them to kind of find their own successes. Trust your internal voice, trust your more subtle subconscious. Allow that to be your guide. That will bring you sort of this strength of awareness, this wisdom that you kind of want to have moving forward. Do have fun, don't get too down, try not to be too serious. I think that's sort of also the full moon in Sagittarius. It's there to kind of balance out the sort of grounded, practical nature of the hermit. But these two are a magical combination. That is your forecast for the day. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, and tune in tomorrow to see what's going on with the energy. I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day. Bye-bye.